Hello, welcome to class this month for the love of rounding. So I actually think that this class might be one of the more supportive ones, like the Cadillac is. But usually I say the one to chair is the hardest class of the month. I do think the mat will be difficult. So I do hope that you don't avoid it, that you actually do these more equipment-based ones and then give yourself the pleasure of finding that round shape without the support of springs and straps. So we will start with 3 springs or 4 springs. Sorry, you want to have heavy springs for your footwork. And place the balls of your feet on the foot bar. Take a deep breath in. Let it all out. And then just notice what is touching the carriage. So we don't want to be tucked here if we can help it, right? If you're newer and you need to tuck to support your core, I understand that. But in an ideal world, your sacrum is a lot more neutral, so your spine can be whatever shape it is, right? And you have this long spine here, and then you're going to press out and in and out and in, and just give yourself as much reach as you can. So this is a tall back exercise, but we're not resting our spine here, and it's easy to do that. Your center should be engaging, because if you have a really strong tall back, then you're going to have a much stronger round shape. Okay, now go on to the arches of your feet and out and in. So challenging yourself to use your springs and your legs to deepen the connection to your core. You're not moving from your knees, right? You're moving from your center out through your feet. And then onto your heels and out and in. Standing on that inner heel, letting the shoulders take up space. And really reaching out through the crown of your head, getting longer and longer with each stretch. We'll be doing our first round shape in just a moment. Go back into the balls of your feet, press out, lower and lift your heels. Instead of making this like calf stretch, how can that reach of the heels help you connect more to your center, right? So you should be feeling that change. And if you don't, you're just bump, 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 bouncing. Explore that. How can you get your ankle bones hugging towards each other? Maybe you have to put a pillow there, to give yourself more strength in case if you're like me and your ankle bones were getting in the way. In the beginning, I had that problem. So I just put a little pillow there to get more strength in the muscles and get used to it. And then come all the way in. So sit all the way up. Come down to one heavy spring. Place the balls of your feet back on the bar. Press out. So here's your first round shape. And why we're doing it like this today is instead of having the straps pulling on us, I wanted you to have a nice closed chain so your legs are fully supported, and you're going to take your arms to the sky. You're going to lift your head and chest up. So you can feel what's touching, right? If you're like pushing into your shoulder blocks, that means your shoulders are in your ears. So you want to have a nice width there, and then you can just pump your arms. Your neck should feel super, super loose, right? Staying through the ball of your foot, through the big toe, hugging those ankle bones towards each other. And because your legs are not pulling on your spine, because you've got that support, can you make the longest round shape for me? So instead of being way up here, how can you let your low ribs take up space, make this carriage longer, make your spine longer? And that might not be a question you can answer today. You might have to give yourself time. That's why we get to do these things for a whole month. Maybe you only do 20 minutes of it one day, maybe do the full 50. And then lower all the way down. All right, so go ahead and take your foot bar down, straighten your legs out. We're going to do a roll up from like the mat roll up here, and it's going to reveal a lot to you about your round shape with this one spring. So you're not moving away from the shoulder blocks, but I have room to like slide my fingertips in, okay? And then you're going to lift your head and chest up, and you're going to round up and over yourself, and you'll get about here. Ideally, your carriage isn't moving, your legs aren't moving, and it feels like you could fall through the well, right? And that's where you're going to pull your waist back. 1, 2, 3, and roll back. If you don't fit between yourself and the shoulder blocks, you know you slid around and you shortened your spine. And that's something you're doing on the mat. So we're not trying to go to our feet. We're trying to go to the ceiling and then over and pulse. 2, 3. And then you're rolling back. Nothing is moving. And you fit right back in there. We'll do 2 more together. You can stick with practicing this if you want to skip overhead. Overhead is just the same thing. We're bending the spine, creating a long round shape, but we'll be sitting on our shoulders instead of our pelvis. Do you feel how you're sitting on your pelvis here at the edge? That's what's happening on your overhead. Before you roll down, make sure you add that second spring and then lower. So you can keep doing some roll-ups or get your head rest down and out of the way. Take your arms up to the sky. So now your legs are going to go through the gates of your arms. You're going to press the arms down, chin up. Super important, your chin is up. So you have a long round shape here. Don't let your legs hang on you. That's going to shorten your spine. Then when you lift those legs up, you lengthen the spine, right? So you get even longer in this round shape. Reach those legs from your center to stretch your spine to the sky. I think sometimes we think about getting our toes on the ceiling, and that's fine. That's a goal. But what if you get your tailbone on the ceiling? Boom. And then lower it all the way down. Bend everything in. Okay. So for coordination, it's really easy to get in this tight, tight little ball. Tailbone and your crown of your head to get away from each other. So lift your head and chest up. Squeeze those heels together. And press everything out. So you've been here before. You just don't have support for the legs, okay? So you're going to open, close. As you bend in, it's increasing the connection to your center, but it's not shortening your spine. As you bend your elbows, it shouldn't be knocking your chest down, right? That's actually losing control of your center. Press out, open, close. When the legs go out, if your chest is coming with it, that's a sign that you're not working the length in your spine, and you're kind of throwing your legs out there. So crown of the head's reaching out and up. Tailbone is reaching out and long as you do this. So you just get longer and longer in this nice round shape and rest. If you keep feeling those flexion exercises in your neck, definitely explore the mat exercise in the one to chair, because you really need to strengthen the back of your neck to help lengthen that chin off of your chest. Okay, spin around. 1 spring. So get a little rowing in. Rowing 1 and 2. So you are going to go in and out of this round shape, right? You start in a tall back. Boom. You go into a round shape. If you sunk down to do it, that's not a round shape. So pull that waist back. Yeah, now keep the carriage here. Press your arms back behind you without popping your ribs out. And then dive in. Use your hands reaching into the handles to help you lengthen your spine. Pulling those shoulders on your back. And then right here, because your arms are on your back, then you're able to stretch your spine into the longest round shape. Again, pull the waist back. Open the arms. Press, keeping that long shape of the spine. Reach your head for your knees. And then lifting those arms up, stretching your upper body over your legs more, away from your tailbone to get even longer than you were before. And around. And reach. So I don't talk about C shapes, like capital C or big C, little c. It's just long and round. So if your spine was an infinite line, it would be curving up on the ends, okay? So it's like almost could be a tall back, but the ends are pulling this way, so it becomes the longest round shape. So spin around. Let's do rowing 3. So we did rowing 1. And we're going to do rowing 3 and 4. So we're going to practice a tall back and then practice going from a round back to a tall back. So it's a nice little practice for you there. So reach those arms forward, lower the arms down, lift them up. See if you can reach your spine longer into your hands. So not your shoulders into your ears, but your ribs up into your hands, and then open the arms up. How tall and long can you get your spine here? Because that's going to be our goal when we go into rowing 4. Reach, down, up, and open. Flex the feet. So now you go into that round shape. So it's not down. You're lifting up and over your legs. So I got to squeeze my outer hips together so I can ground my legs down. Slide those hands out. Lift. up into your tall back. Woo! So you're reaching, your legs are pulling away